Good morning, class. Today is Monday, May the 11th. Monday, May 11th. I hope you had a great weekend and I hope you had a wonderful time sharing with your mother how much you love her and treating her with love and kindness and respect. I know you did. So let's get started on lesson 144 today. We're going to start out talking about one of our great states. Now, you remember that this is North America. We live here in North America. The United States of America is mainland, Alaska, and Hawaii. Today, we're going to talk about Alaska. Can you see how big Alaska is compared to the rest of the United States? Look how much bigger it is. So today's lesson on Alaska. Some wonderful things we want to talk about today. This is Otto. He is a Native American. He is what we call the Eskimo. The Native Americans Eskimos lived in the cold northern regions of the North America. And I turned the wrong page. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about his people. So, the Alaska is the 49th state. They joined at different times throughout our country's history, and Alaska was the 49th state, and it is the largest. And Texas is the second largest, and people from Alaska like to tease the people from Texas and say, it's okay that you're in second place. We could cut ourselves in half and you'd be in third. That's how big Alaska is. It is huge. It also means great land. It would be so much faster to fly up there than to drive up there. It is so far away. Canada separates us, and there is an Alaskan highway that starts here and goes up into Alaska, and it takes 23 hours to drive that. That's how far away Alaska is from Washington State. 23 hours. Now, if you look, Otto is with a sled dog. That is how they used to get around most of the time with sled dogs. They would be in a little stand in the back, and all the dogs would be lined up in front, and they would go through the snow and carry them from place to place, because look how deep the snow is. Yep, that's snow. And they called it dog sledding. Now, we have a couple of modern day movies that you can watch about dog sledding and where the Iditarod came from. Remember the movie Balto? That's a sled dog, and that happened in Alaska. There is another one that I really liked, and the name isn't coming up, but that's dog sledding. But now they mostly use snowmobiles, a little tiny little electric, gas-powered engine, and they carry things behind them. So they used to be back here, the people would be back here, and the dogs would be out here running, and now the people are in front and the car goes behind. Now look at this beautiful picture right here. This is called the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. We don't really get those because we're almost to the equator, so we don't get to see the Aurora Borealis very often, but if you do, you can YouTube search it and look. They have beautiful displays of God's wonder and His nature. So look up the Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights. You can look it up there. This is Mount McKinley. It used to be called Denali. Denali means, I think, great one. The high one, sorry. The high one. This is Mount Denali. It's in Alaska, and they renamed it after one of our presidents, Mount McKinley. And this is an igloo. This is what they used to live in. It actually is very warm, even though it looks very cold, because the temperature outside in Alaska would drop below 32 degrees and snow stays at a constant 32 degrees. So in here, it was 32 degrees. And out here, it could be 0 or even colder. And so it's always warmer to get in the igloo. So that is about Alaska, a great 49th state. It is huge, it is cold, and it is far away. But let's be thankful that we have Alaska as part of our great United States, one of our 50 great states. Now, next, we're going to go to the Number Skills, Arithmetic, K5, and we're going to do page 116. Now, this is on the back of another assignment that we've already done. This one, it's on the back of this one. And I told you that if you understood it, you could go ahead and do it, but you could also wait because I'd be doing it in the video. So there are sections with pennies on the top, and it says how many are left. You're going to help demonstrate a math problem. There's 3 boxes, and there are 4 pennies up there. And you are to demonstrate right in numbers what it's showing you. There's 4 pennies, 1 is crossed out, so you write 4 minus 1 equals, so if you have 4 and you take away 1, and we all know that that was not the correct number sign in sign language. So if we have 4 and we take away 1 and we have how many left, and write that. So the next one is got the 3 pennies, the next one has the 5 pennies, and the next one has 8 pennies. So write out those problems and write the answers. Write the number that comes between. Remember, we covered what comes before, what comes after, and now we're going for what comes between, because you have the number 17, a box, and the number 19. What one goes in the middle? What comes between? So write that for all of that section. And then the next one is write the numbers 1 through 30. And it has a couple filled in for you in case you lose your place. So that's how you can check your work, okay? So write the numbers 1 through 20 by counting by ones. And then tomorrow we're going to have a test, okay? You can wait till tomorrow to do that, lesson 145. You have in this book, Think and Learn K5, you should have page 116. Looks like this. You need to cut along the dark, heavy lines. When you do, you will have these 3 cards or 3 pieces of paper to hold up. I'm going to read a really short story. And when I say something that could be a shelter, you hold up this one. If I say food, you hold up this one. It doesn't have to be the hamburger or the fries, just food, something you can eat or drink. Hold up this one. And if I say clothing, any type of clothing, you hold up this card, okay? Are you ready? You can pause the video until you finish cutting it out, and then when you get it cut out, get ready, and I'm going to read the little story, okay? All right, here's the short story. You ready with your 3 papers? Hold up your papers one at a time. Alex came home from school and hung up his jacket. That's a good young man to hang up his jacket when he comes in. He was hungry, so he went to the kitchen and looked for an apple. He couldn't find one, so he ate a banana instead. Then he went to his bedroom after he threw away the banana peel. Then he went to his bedroom and put on his play clothes. Brown pants, striped shirt, and tennis shoes. Because we all come home from school in our uniform, so he took those off and he put these items on. He went outside to wait for his friend Deanna, who lived in an apartment across the street. While he waited, he scattered some sunflower seeds over the lawn for the birds that nested in the birdhouse in the backyard. Now, were you able to hold up the correct answer, the correct card showing the picture for the words? because home is a shelter. You should hold up the home card. From school is a shelter. You should hold up the home card. Also, apartment is a home. You should hold up the home card. Birdhouse is a shelter for birds. You should hold up the home card. And then we have jacket and pants, clothes, shirt, and shoes with the t-shirt. And then banana, apple, sunflower seeds with the food. Great job. Proud of you. Good listening skills. Good thinking skills. Good job. Put this aside. Go to the next one in our lesson. Again, I do not have number skills, number writing tablet or the letter writing tablet, so I can't explain those to you, and it doesn't give an explanation in my book. I would usually pick up one of your papers and read it to you, so hopefully your mom or your dad or your auntie or whoever's helping you, your older sibling, can read it to you and you can do it correctly. Okay, if you have any questions, you can text me or write an email, or you can write on the class page. Forests, deserts, and oceans. Remember we covered oceans last week? Well, today we're going to talk about the forest. The forest habitat. Remember we were talking about homes, that birds have bird houses and humans have apartments and houses, and shelters even include schools. Those are usually generally considered emergency shelters, but they are shelters. So let's talk about the forest animals. Where do they live? That's what habitat means, is where they live. There are many forests around the world. A forest is a land that is covered with trees. Did you know that Alaska has a lot of forests? There are very few humans that live there in ratio to the land, and there's a lot of land and just a few humans, so there is a lot of forest in Alaska. Trees have branches and leaves. Trees make shade on the forest floor. Shade helps keep the soil moist. This forest has many trees. The forests in Alaska are very dense, similar to this, because they have few humans and a lot of animals. These ferns need water. They do not need much light. That's how they can live on the forest floor, because the trees can block the sunlight, and they need very little sunlight and water. But they need lots of water. Forest trees need rain to grow tall. Their leaves take in light, and lights help them grow. Ferns and flowers grow under the trees. These smaller plants need water, but not as much light as the trees. So that is our habitat for forests. Can you name a creature that lives in the forest? How about a creature that lives in the forest in Alaska? They have scary bears, called grizzly bears, and black bears. I was watching an Alaskan Adventure the other day, and on Netflix, and he said, if a grizzly bear is charging you, you've invaded his territory. If a black bear charges you, they are looking for food. So that's scary bears to me that live in the forest of Alaska. That's one reason I live in Florida. It's safer to me. So that was our forest habitat. And now we are going to read a part of a story. Da, 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 da. Let's see. What do we see here? We see a rabbit and we see a mole. Now, what are the similarities between a mole and a rabbit? They both burrow in the ground. Yes, they do. They live in burrows and dens underground. And they love to eat fresh vegetables. What do we see right there? Oh, that's a scarecrow. Talk about scary animals. That's a scary make-believe animal because it's not alive. An unusual stroll with Uncle Mole. There was an unusual character that lived underneath Farmer Green's garden. All the other forest animals were unable to tell exactly how long his home had been under there because his neighbors hardly ever saw him. He might have been in the garden a whole summer before anyone met him because he spent most of his time underground. Those that knew him called him Uncle Mole. His house had been dug out under a mound at one end of the garden, for he was a great digger. Uncle Mole, his burrow had more tunnels than any other house in Pleasant Valley. Some of those tunnels ran right underneath the surface of the garden, but Uncle Mole had dug them for a reason. Through the tunnels he made his way in the darkness whenever he was hungry, which was most of the time, for he had a huge appetite. Each time he took an underground stroll, he was sure to find a few grubs, which was what he ate for dinner. Grubs are wormy bugs. So Mr. Mole eats grubs. We will finish the story tomorrow. And again, if you have any questions, please text me. Text me a picture or turn it in on the web page. We have some assignments that haven't been turned in for a couple of weeks. Please check your work and send in pictures. I'm missing them. So have a great day today, class. I love you guys. Send me a picture of what you did for your mom, or send me a text telling me what you did, or a short video. I would love to see it. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your Monday, and I'll talk to you later.